Hi there, Aquarius. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your mid-October Halloween reading. Let's get right into it now. But before we do, okay, of course, right, energy is fluid, so it may permeate a little before the 15th of the month, a little after the 31st of the month. Let's get into it now, Aquarius. I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and I was hearing Easy Does It Ranger, okay, and I was shuffling, and the first card that just flipped right off the top of the stack is the Seven of Cups. Okay, now I'm situating it at the top left-hand corner of your reading, so let us heed that and move forward here. You want some leg space. You want some leg room, Aquarius, with whatever it is that you're coming to terms with, okay? And you may feel like I need my personal space. I got to come to terms with this, and it's got to be on my own terms, okay, kind of feeling. There's an introspective nature and quality to whatever it is that you may be coming to. And it is a gradual transformation, okay? And I'm getting also that it may be cyclical. And it may be testing, okay, to your ability to handle various factors in the process of analysis, okay? Now, you have a number of cards that just popped out. You have 4 cards exactly, 2 and 2 in separate stacks, faced by the Tower, overlaying the Hanged Man, okay, upright, both upright, horizontally laid. You then have the Sun in reverse, overlaying the Two of Swords upright, okay, both alluding to the theme of fire, to the theme of passion, to the theme of transformation. Now, but you have this cyclical sort of energy here with the Hanged Man. Very interesting. Ooh, okay. There is this sort of stop-go nature. Okay, this feeling of I need to make a transformation. I need it to happen on its own time. I feel that I'm in the middle of some sort of transformation, but I have to kind of go with the flow. It's the feeling of the ebb and the flow through what is inherently transformational. You have the Ten of Cups that just blurted out, okay, right at the base, horizontally laid. You then have here the Father of Swords upright, overlaying the Four of Cups upright, the Ace of Wands, Swords in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, okay? And the Moon upright, mirroring the Father of Swords. I'm getting here that there may be an individual who is a little bit suspicious, okay? Who's a little bit suspicious, be it your very own energy, right, Father of Swords, or another individual at the periphery who is, I'm hearing, not having it, okay, not having it, who is just not, I'm hearing, is merciless in some kind of way, as you may see it or perceive it, and hopefully not, however you take that, right, not that there's a necessarily negative or positive, it's a matter of, right, how we perceive it, but what it is that is inherently confounding, you understand, is also sort of the answer. Okay, now let me pull all the cards here. Ooh, very interesting. Okay, Libra pulled the Chariot in the exact same position. And you have the Mother of Swords in reverse in your final outcome. Okay. Ooh, cards want to pop out in duplicates here. Now, you've got here the Wheel of Fortune in your I'm hearing your advice, okay, but also in your theme, overlaying the Son of Swords upright, overlaying the Father of Wands in reverse, who mirrors the Wheel of Fortune, sitting right above the Father of Pentacles in reverse and over the Ace of Cups upright. There is a transformation, okay, there's change, there's a question of what comes, but in a way where we understand it's not going to come in the shape and the form that we have so far observed transformation change. This is, I'm hearing, a matter of, I'm hearing stardust, okay, a matter of star gold for a number of you, however you resonate with that, and I'm zeroing in on the citrine crystal, okay, which speaks of the fire element, which speaks of drive, will, action, impetus, the desire for a new beginning for a number of you, okay? But before I confirm that energy there, let us move into the rest of the energies, and I'll read them all off to you. You've got the Three of Pentacles upright in your deep past, the High Priestess upright in your recent past, the Chariot in reverse in your current state. Libra pulled the same exact card in the same exact position in reverse. Your advice is the Hermit upright. Okay, now the Hermit is being connected to the Six of Cups in reverse in your near future. by the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is sort of the bridge between the Hermit, okay, the state of rumination, and the, I'm hearing the confounding variable, the understanding of what the confounding variable may be within a matter of partnership that is emotional, okay, that is emotional. Yes, okay, we have the Two of Cups as well, sitting right next to this Six of Cups in reverse, Two of Cups as your hopes and or fears. You then have the Mother of Swords in reverse in your final outcome. Two mothers that you're leading out with, the Mother of Cups as well in your energetic pathway, who motions over at your environment, that pulled two cards, okay, for placement here, the Six of Wands in reverse and the Judgment card upright. Okay, very interesting themes of flight. Birds abound in your reading. Okay, you've got the Mother of Swords, you've got the Father of Swords, you've got the Hanged Man, right, the bat, you've got the Six of Wands, the butterfly, the Judgment, the bird, the dove, the Mother of Cups, the dove, okay, the Fool, the baby chick, okay. There's flight here. And there's a question of what direction do I fly in? Okay. And you've got in the energetic pathway that leads you into your current state of the Chariot, the Two of Wands upright and the Seven of Swords upright. Very interesting because it's this sort of, yet again, it's like the stop-go sort of nature. It's like, let's think and let's act. Let's act and let's think. Let's I'm hearing ergonomically plan how we make this, I'm hearing escape, okay, so take it as you will, right? But how it is that we move through this transformation, let us take our time with that. Okay, let us take our time with that. And you have at the very apex of your reading 4 cards. On the right-hand side, you have the Star, beautiful, that you're leading out with in the apex, accompanied by the Four of Swords in reverse. There's another couple of cards here, and it is the Fool in reverse and the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, the Fool and the Star, the Five of Swords and the Four of Swords, 5-4 sequence of the perception of a new beginning. The focus being on just how grand our imagination performs its action. Okay. I'm hearing, what is the landscape of our desire? How do we understand and simultaneously are unable to understand, put our finger on, put a name to what it is that we inherently feel so deeply that we want? And there's this question, and there's not a question of a new beginning yet. The focus is on the dream. Okay, and this sits right beneath Amethyst here, okay, which is Pisces' card speaking of intuition. Okay, I'm also hearing the passion. Passion, the dream, the passion of the dream. The passion for dreaming. Okay, and you're coming to very clearly, what systems, okay, what processes substantiate this imaginative potential, right? And Aquarius is a very sort of eccentric, progressive sort of thinker of an energy. And of course, right, depending on how and what propensity you have it in your chart and so on and so forth, various placements, many factors, right, going into that. But what speaks for my cause? And I'm getting that this is something that either there's an individual who's incredibly intuitive, who has somewhat assisted, okay, in this awakening process, okay, or has stood as a sort of emblem, okay, of what matters of security and stability, of foresight, of the range of foresight means for you within the context of creating in the manifest world, in the third dimension. Okay, take it as you will, right? Right, it's almost as if they sparked your sort of the range of, I'm hearing your foresight of the principle, the frame of mind of what it means to create. There was this sort of, this poking and this prodding, okay, or you may have had a dream for a number of you. I'm getting that. You may have had a dream. Now, if this is your very own energy, especially if you've got a lot of water in your chart, okay, you've understood how eventually, okay, it would all come into its form. Not because it was rationalized, not because it was completely strategic, okay, necessarily, but because you understood from a sort of higher perspective how all of the pieces, okay, that do play a part inherently, will come together. And it's that sort of locomotion of the bits and the pieces and the moving parts, and I'm hearing the moving embers, that is completely, I'm hearing undeniable, okay? And in a certain way, I'm hearing unreliable, that may confound the logical mind. The natural way that a conclusion would be drawn by way of relying solely on the intellectual rational mind. However, right, you take it, okay, it can be taken in a number of ways. But there's this focus, okay, on premonition for you, absolutely, and the siding with what has been a sort of compulsive knowing of why it is we want to make this change, this transformation, where it is, right, not only for the sake of making the change, Aquarius, but where this change takes us into the next stage of creation and manifestation. And it confounds any sort of prior relationship that's had with material financial assets and matters of security and stability. What does it mean to feel secure? What does it mean to contribute to something? What does it mean? And I'm hearing three's company, okay, and you've got the Three of Pentacles. This could be a work situation, okay, absolutely. It could be a matter of the collaboration of finances in a certain way. What is this? What is the grander meaning of all this stuff that's created? Okay, and so I'm getting that there was this sort of, I'm hearing wake-up call, there's sort of awakening in a certain way to matters of finances specifically, as it is almost seen and experienced through the lens of sort of spiritual understanding, okay, of what the third dimension actually stands for and stands to capacitate in a certain way, to uphold in a certain way, okay? Now, there is a focus here on coming to terms with the thoughts, okay, coming to terms with the feelings as well of what it is that we want to act on because it's our very personal truth. And there's the feeling, there's the knowing that this would capacitate a sense of reinvigoration emotionally. Okay, the feeling of coherency, of feeling that we are moving in line with how we perceive of our own actions. And if there's another individual involved in this, Father of Swords, okay, upright, there's, I'm getting that this individual, there's a little bit of a combative, confrontational energy perhaps, okay, and hopefully not, always, hopefully not, but whatever it may be, Aquarius, right, this individual may not entirely understand your means and your method, okay, but you're like, I can't be bothered with how another perceives how I reach my conclusions, because my conclusions are not merely logical. They take on a form that is by way of feeling, right? If you think about fire, it's almost like a compulsive sort of energy. It's impulsive, it's spontaneous, it's honest, right? Fire is generally known to be considered sort of very honest energy, right? Because you can't hide the feeling. It's like, I feel it, I want it, I'm gonna profess it, kind of thing. And so you've got this Two of Wands jutting up into the Father of Swords, like, right? Almost the geyser, okay, of understanding, of feeling that just blows I'm hearing the fish out of the water, blows the whale out of the water, okay? That leaves no room for a process of dissection of values of what it is that I feel. Okay, so it's almost like you're building this momentum, this strength to side with passion, to feel your way through, to a point of understanding, okay, of why you feel that you want whatever it is that you do. Now that you may perceive that you do, you have this waiting though, this waiting period, okay, on coming to terms with mustering up this sort of energetic reserve to come to a point of understanding, okay, the clarity of the path, of the directionality of how we move forward, and perhaps strategically as well, into this new beginning, okay, and to the point of decision, rather, the decision making. And everything is on sort of standby, but the feeling and the momentum is building, okay, building. And your advice here is the Hermit, okay, which speaks of the sort of consolidation of whatever this fire is, whatever this desire is, right? This sort of flame that's being held in suspension at the very apex of the hermit's shell. You're being beckoned to concentrate on what awakening to your creative potential means. I'm hearing in abstract form, in theory. Again, the conceptualization, the sort of packaging of what it means to dream, of what it means to act on our dreams. There is this sort of enlightenment, okay, that is had, that is, I'm hearing, irreplaceable, that it's like, you know, I could only reach the state of feeling so much what I want to accomplish by way of holding off on the action, right? Okay, and in the beginning, right, as I was meditating on your energy, there was this, I was hearing Easy Desert Ranger. Okay, Easy Desert Ranger. So it's almost like I'm getting that you're in control in a certain way, of a certain form, a course of action. But you focus on, rather than the action, the reason for why you want to take it. Okay, and that you're being beckoned to partake in that sort of that inner monologue, that discourse, that dialogue, okay, in a privatized sort of way. Now, what you find in this space, what you come to in this space, is an emotional culmination of how we feel, how we feel about what we want, how this reflects the culmination of the cycle emotionally for us. Okay, so I'm getting that things are coming full circle. Things are coming full circle. And it's a connective sort of circle, right? The Wheel of Fortune. It's interconnective. There's this alluding to many different themes, right? On this card, the moon, the owl, right? The web of colorful strings that lace in no particular fashion, right, with a sort of almost chaos, but then the regimented sort of pattern making of the wands. There's every element here, okay, that comes into play. There is transformation that is conclusive, but your focus here as you move through into that is on specifically the emotions that are experienced as we culminate to this point, okay, of the network of what we've been experiencing. And it reflects to you partners of it reflects to you matters of partnership, okay, matters of collaboration, of what it means to, I'm hearing, confront others with our values that are personal to us in such a way that makes the room, okay, for emotional dialogue as well. Okay, so there's this sort of emotional cognizance that I'm getting here, Aquarius, and I was in Aries, okay. Aries may be coming through for you here. There's a focus on how our propensity to feel, our capacity to feel so much, plays a role and is almost right. I'm hearing an infiltration of cause, a factor that must be taken into consideration within the network, perhaps as you may be feeling it, of creation. So what I'm getting here is that there's a great focus, great focus on structural habits and patterns, as well as the ability to, the desire to take action in a spontaneous way. I'm hearing trailblazing sort of way. But the focus on, again, this sort of vulnerability, and I believe this came out for you in your last reading, was it? And the last reading before then, okay. This focus on the vulnerability and its connection to matters of collaboration. Okay, so you have this community sort of aspect coming out again for you, the Six of Cups in reverse, connected to this Ten of Cups. Here, let me grab a sip of water. And I'm seeing here, Aquarius, that ultimately you want that. Ultimately, you recognize the value that community plays, the value that that community has, the value that it upholds within the grander structure and scheme of, I'm hearing, working, of work ethic. And how it is that you want to, I'm hearing, confront these confounding variables in such a way where they enmesh, where they work together, where they seek to create not only, right, a functional form of manifestation, but also that which is an emotional connectivity, right? Where we're not only working, but we are connecting emotionally, energetically, even intuitively. For a number of you, take it as you will, right? But, and I'm hearing for you, how do I bring this into form? How do I bring it into form? And the focus now, as you, I'm getting in your near future, as you lead out towards, I'm hearing for a number of you the 14th. Okay, that's coming through for you the 14th. So right before the early part of October, but I would say 17th, 18th, 19th to 24th, 29th. These numbers are coming through, okay? But nonetheless, right, there's this focus on the emotional dimension, okay? The emotional dimension that reminds us, okay, of the connectivity of what we create, the sort of consequence of our actions in a certain way, how and why it is that we're compelled to create within the context that we are. And so there's a focus on context here for you. Yes. And the question of, well, okay, is it just the desire? Is it taking the action? Is it just doing? Is the directionality? Or is it, right, taking into consideration how all variables come into play, how all sort of viewpoints, how all sort of individuals even play a certain part through the action that's taken, okay, and by way of the action that's taken. So it's almost like where you're like, oh, well, I have to go, wait a second, I've got to take all these other factors into consideration. And there's you know, an emotional side of the story as well. And right in this collaborative space, we are both, I'm hearing humans, and I'm hearing hearts, okay? I'm hearing hearts. So there's this head space and the heart space and the physical space that's almost sort of correlative energy that's being expressed here. Now, you are leading out with two mothers, Aquarius, Mother of Cups upright, and the Mother of Swords in reverse. This is a confrontation with what it is that you understand you want of this new beginning, not because it is labeled in a certain way to be a certain answer that you've sought, but because you feel it so deeply. Because you realize it's the only way to fly. I've got to fly up. There's no way that I could fly down. It's like that. It's like the polarity. Is that clear to you now? To make this transformation change, it's about understanding that the diameter I'm hearing of the pace of my change is constant. Okay, it's almost like I can only grow outwards. I can't, right? I'm hearing downsize. I can't downsize. I'm outgrowing. Gotta spread my wings. Okay. And to do that, I've got to come to terms with what I intuitively understand is my direction. I'm hearing is my plight, I'm hearing my foreplay and my foreshadow. Okay, so it's almost like before taking the flight, it's like, okay, well, I gotta know where I'm gonna land this ship. Okay, kind of feeling. It's like, where are we headed to? Where are we off to? And while there is no sort of clear answer, Aquarius, as I'm getting it for you, the answer that is clear is the direction of the guiding force of your intuition. Okay, that is the clarity. And that compels you. It's almost like in that moment where you're like, you know what? I've got good. That's a takeoff time. Okay, it's that aligning, okay, with that feeling that I'm hearing it's now or never. It's a matter of embodying it, this feeling. That the question of where it's taking you is no longer the question. Okay, and there's that release of the need to understand it, the need to, I'm hearing, expect it. And so it's transformational, absolutely. But I'm getting that you recognize when what compels you to make this change and transformation, rather, is your inherent fundamental understanding of it on a level that is very, very, very deep. And that is housed in your dreams. Okay, this may be, I'm hearing lifetimes ago. This may be time and time. I'm hearing again, time and time ago. It may be a sort of repetitive sort of expression, channeling of a certain gift. Okay, the Judgment card flies up into the star. So this release of the perceptions and the sort of judgment upon what it is that we understand is not a matter of left or right or wrong, black or white, dark or light. It is a matter, yes, of the polarity that exists inherently, but where it comes together to compel me to create, to bring me closer to where I understand I will always find my connection to, okay, myself. And it's that formidable alliance, Aquarius, that is formed not only with the decision, but with the reason for the decision. That yet again may not be a reason, right? Just maybe sort of a feeling, a hankering, sort of knowing, an inkling, okay, that, you know what, we are to move in this direction. That compels you to move with it. Okay, so thank you so very much, Aquarius, for tuning in. Have a beautiful, beautiful October. Man, Halloween. Enjoy it. And I will see you soon for your November readings. Time's flying right by us. Hopefully in a few weeks or so stay tuned for that. Nonetheless, I highly recommend you check out your rising ascendant or moon sign as well, as oftentimes those may provide you further insights into your situation in matters of love, in matters of partnership, even finances, harmony, love, art, beauty, so on and so forth, okay? Venus may play a role, okay? So if you don't know your Venus sign, you can click the link below in the description box I provide, and that will compute your signs for you, all right? Nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in. Dear Aquarius, have a beautiful day and night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you soon. Bye.